page later today and then email that out to everyone. So that, again, it's just another reminder that, you still have access to this information, because we want people to have that at their fingertips to help, just feel good about their decision and feel like they're aware of what's going on. So
absolutely.
I would say don't hold back current students, because I think it's really, like you said, Mary Kate, this is a day usually on campus where a lot of cell phone numbers are exchanged, people eat lunch together. We kind of encourage and push the students to get to know each other. And so we don't want them to miss out on asking what it's like to, really be a student, and just how special this community is, especially the PA community. So feel free to, speak from your heart and answer any questions people have. Oh, great. Lots of people are signing on. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Lonnie.
Yes.
Is Kelly's number a 978?
Let me double check. It is.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. We're just giving everyone a couple more minutes to sign in. I'm the person who is in your inbox, if you recognize my name. So I'm the one who emailed you from admissions. The real purpose of this session today is for you to ask questions of our current students about what the program is like, what's student life like, where do you go to get a cup of coffee on the weekend, just anything that really matters to you as you make this really important decision. But we also have faculty and the chair here to answer questions on the specifics of the actual PA program. So you have lots of people here to help you. I would say use the chat function if you don't feel comfortable unmuting, but I'm so happy to see people put their video screens on, because you are truly looking at your future classmates, and I think it's kind of cool to start recognizing each other now. So I'm just here from admissions to say hi and thank you for being here. And later on today, you're going to get to see grand rounds, which is a really, really cool experience. But don't hold back today. Get all your questions answered and have fun.
Thanks, Delaney. So I guess I will get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Megan Mijon, and I am the department chair of the PA program. I have with me Professor Kearney, who is one of our didactic instructors. And then we have 3 current students. So Mackenzie Coleman is in her 5th year. She's about to start clinical rotations in June, so she's very excited. And then Abby Tantorsky and Mary Kate are both in it's sort of technically their 4th year with the Springfield College program, but they just started in January the professional phase or graduate phase of the program. So you get 2 sort of different perspectives on where they're at. Mackenzie's probably feeling a little more comfortable with things, and Abby and Mary Kate are terrified. So you get lots of different views. So I have a little presentation I'm going to share with you, and then we'll talk a little bit, and then we'll go through some questions. Okay, I'm going to, can you see that, Lonnie?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so the Springfield College Accepted Student Open House. So the first thing I want to say to all you guys is congratulations. You have now been accepted to a PA program, which is probably one of the hardest steps in this process, is actually getting in. So you guys have been accepted. You just have to make it through the next few years and you will be a PA. So first and foremost, congratulations to all of you. And this is a list of our faculty. So I have myself there. Dr. Rosenstein is our medical director. And then we have, some clinical coordinators, 2 clinical coordinators, and 4 full-time didactic faculty. We, in addition, have a whole bunch of adjuncts who their primary job is working clinically, but they come here and help out in our labs and things like that. So what is a PA? So hopefully you know what you're sort of getting yourself into here, but we are a part of that medical healthcare team. We are frontline medical providers. We are nationally certified, and we have to have a state license. We practice medicine on a healthcare team with physicians, nurses, pharmacists, PTs, OTs, all the other providers you might think about. And we practice and prescribe in all 50 states, the Districts of Columbia, and all of the US territories. And what can we do? So we take medical histories, we conduct physical exams, we diagnose and treat different illnesses, we order and interpret diagnostic tests, we develop treatment plans for our patients, including writing prescriptions, we counsel on preventative care, we do first assist in surgery, and we make rounds in the hospitals or the nursing homes. A lot of the specific duties that PAs will perform depend on the setting in which you work. What your specific job role is going to be different if it is emergency medicine versus family medicine or pediatrics. It also depends on the level of experience. As a new grad, you'll probably have a little bit more oversight and be working more closely with your supervising physician. But once you're a couple of years out, you'll probably have a lot more independence. And then it also depends on the specialty you go into and the state laws of where you're choosing to work. This is a nice clip from the NCCPA, which is the certifying body that we all take their exam and they sort of oversight us. And this is a nice graphic that shows all of the different things we can do, where most providers work, sort of the top 5 areas, family medicine being the top, with surgical subspecialties, internal medicine and emergency medicine, things like that. So there's an extensive list of specialties. One of the things that you probably know that's really unique about going to be a physician assistant is that we can sort of change specialties. We are trained across the board in medicine, pediatrics, OB, surgery, psych, emergency medicine. And that makes us more flexible when it comes to career choices. So you can be in family medicine for a couple of years, and then you can change and decide you want to go into peds or emergency medicine or interventional radiology. We're really very flexible providers, which is unique to our field, and not all the other fields are like that way, especially when you go to med school, right? You pick your chosen path. If you pick emergency medicine, that's what you're doing unless you decide to go back to school. So since you can't be with us on campus, I decided to throw in some pictures just so you get some, a little bit of an experience of what we have. We have 2 high fidelity simulation mannequins and 2 simulation labs where we can run patient scenarios. You can practice doing a physical exam, listening to lungs, listening to heart sounds, things like that. Our skills lab, we learn lots of technical skills, including casting each other. You learn to intubate, you'll learn to place IVs. ACLS is another thing in the training that you will get to experience. Surgical scrubbing, so you'll learn, I'm sure you've all watched Grey's Anatomy, right? And you see them all at the sinks and they're scrubbing their hands and they're talking about what they did last night, not their patient. And you're gonna learn all about that and how we don surgical gear. And the cadaver lab. So we are lucky enough to have a donor cadaver lab on campus. And so you will spend 2 semesters in that lab learning about dissection and getting to see real life pathology in patients. We have our history and physical lab, where you learn to take a history from patients and how to perform a physical exam. And here's an image of us doing it despite the pandemic. We were able to get back in labs in July, and we're doing it in a really safe way, and have been lucky, knocking on all of the wood, to have it still worked out really well this many months later without having any outbreaks amongst our class. And here's a picture of clinical medicine. So our medicine lectures, we're usually in Blake Hall here in room 129 with all the students lined up with their computers. That's what it looked like pre-pandemic. And here's what clinical medicine has looked like post-pandemic. On our Zoom lectures, we do lots of live Zoom, lots of good questions, sharing screens, stuff like that. And we have a student organization which is involved in fundraising for local every year they do something different. This was a volleyball tournament we did a couple of years ago, which was great fun and earned lots of money for a local mental health organization. So back to sort of being a PA. The AAPA salary report showed that in 2019, the average salary was $110,000. So that's a good salary for you to be making when you're what, like 22, getting out there in the field. So, and then there's just sort of a sampling of salaries by job. You can feel secure that you can repay your loans in this career. So why should you choose Springfield College PA program? Well, we are one of the few undergrad to grad programs. We have 6 years, so 4 years of undergrad, or really 3.5 years undergrad, 2.5 years grad. When you graduate, you will have a master's in PA studies, but you will also get your bachelor's at the end of your 4th year. If you're accepted into this program, which you all already have been, you are guaranteed a seat all the way through the program as long as you meet those minimum requirements. You will have one of us PA faculty as your academic advisor. All of our lecturers are local MDs, PAs, DOs in the area. We have, the local renal transplant group does all of our renal lectures, and a local infectious disease specialist does our infectious disease lectures. So you'll really have exposure even in the didactic year to a lot of local providers and able to make connections early on. Your clinical rotations all will be arranged by us. You can absolutely set up your own rotations if you have those connections, but you are not required to, and we will take care of it all for you locally here, sort of in the triangle of like Western Mass, Worcester, Hartford, but can accommodate if you want to go other places. Hitting wrong buttons. And so I liked this image. It says it's going to be hard, but guess what? Hard is not impossible. So you're choosing like a really excellent and hard career choice, but it's doable. And you know that because every year we graduate lots of really successful PAs, and we as your faculty are going to help you through it. So what does the curriculum look like? What's life going to look like when you're here at Springfield College? So in your freshman year, you're going to take biology with a lab, chemistry with a lab, EMT and CPR, along with some of those core requirements of Springfield College. In their sophomore year, you take anatomy and physiology, organic chemistry, usually pre-calculus, and again, those core requirements. In the junior year, you'll take biochemistry, med micro, and then we have a selection of what we call upper level science selectives. So there's this long list of classes that you can choose from in the biology and chemistry department. Just to give sort of round out your undergrad experience, you can take nutrition courses, physics courses, anything that really interests you. And then in your senior year, you'll do statistics, finishing up any grad requirements, core requirements, all of that. And then in the spring of your senior year, you will start the master's phase and jump right into the required PA courses. So some common questions that we get is, can you study abroad? Absolutely, yes, you can. And we have lots of students that do. If you're already certified as an EMT or you have your CPR certification already, can you transfer that in? Absolutely. And when we do registration over the summer, we'll help you get that course waived off your schedule and help you pick something else. Can you play sports? Absolutely, and you should. And can you be involved in other campus activities? Again, absolutely, and you should, to get the real full Springfield College experience. So what about AP credit? So I put that sort of like question mark. It really depends on the class. We don't allow you to bring in AP credit for any math or science, but we do allow, literature, history, all of that stuff, because we have this sort of confusing 8 credit transfer rule, but we'll talk about that in the summer when you register for classes. So Lonnie, do you want to cover a few things we've been doing recently? Oh, you're muted.
Story of my life. So just to talk about just a
3 points that are more general to Springfield College and questions that have come up that you might have, just to keep you aware. So a lot has happened, right, since 2020, and we're going into a year of living in a pandemic with a light at the end of the tunnel, which feels great. But Springfield College has made some commitments that make me feel comfortable, and I hope will make you feel comfortable as well. Feels great that me and Dr. Mijan are in our offices right now. That alone is great. There's buzzing outside of the door, which feels wonderful. Because of the pandemic and the acknowledgement of everything that's gone on, there will be no tuition increase, room and board increase, or fee increase for the 21-22 year, which is really, I think, really nice and reassuring. Something that draws people to Springfield College, I'm an alum of Springfield College myself, and something that I love about it is the Humanics mission. There's been some questions about, how do you continue this Humanics mission when we're all socially distanced and so many things are remote at this point. But Springfield College has done a really good job at continuing to live that mission and find ways to execute activities while being safe at the same time. Even just within our own program, we have students that have been cleared to volunteer at vaccine clinics. And once you've gone through clinical skills and learned how to give injections, you can give vaccines. And so we're really already giving back during this pandemic, and I think such a major way. So that mission is still alive and well. And then just about safety, right? So COVID is scary, and how are we staying safe on campus? How are we able to be here? There's students in lab right now. I just got out of suture lab helping students learn how to suture. And we are testing. Students are getting tested every week. Faculty are getting tested every week. And we have a lot of really good things in place for social distancing, mask policies, cleaning, things that have kept us safe. And like Dr. Mijan said, knock on everything has kept us really safe and able to interact in person. And I think that as we continue to move forward in this new day of vaccinations in the pandemic, we will only continue to be more safe.
Great. So now it's really your time. I'm going to stop share and open the floor to any and all questions you guys might have about Springfield College. And like I said, I have students here. They can answer all those questions about what it's like to live here. Is the food good? I don't know, whatever you might wonder about. So feel free to unmute and ask away.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, Mary Kate and Mackenzie? Break the ice.
Yeah. So hi. Oh, you can go.
No, go ahead, Mackenzie.
My name is Mackenzie. I am, as Dr. Mijan said, I'm in the 5th year at Springfield College, and I am finishing up my didactic year, which is exciting. I'll be starting clinicals at the end of the semester. And in undergrad, I participated on the swim team. I worked 2 jobs on campus. I studied abroad, and I was involved in some clubs that I can answer questions about, but yeah, I tried to kind of do it all in undergrad.
Hi, I'm Mary Kate. Similar to Mackenzie, I also kind of tried to do it all in undergrad. Right now, I'm what we call a half year. So I just started grad school, which has been a big transition, a little scary, but also super exciting at the same time. Definitely something to look forward to. I've lived on campus all 4 years, and I'm lucky that my roommate is another PA student. So it's nice to have friends in the program, that's for sure. I was a member of the field hockey team my freshman year, and now I'm on the club equestrian team. I'm also, I do PASO, which is our student organization that helps do fundraisers and that kind of stuff, which is really fun to be a part of. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything.
And I'm Abby. I'm also a half year like Mary Kate. So we just started the didactic portion of it. In undergrad, I ran track, so I was very busy. And right now I do live with some of the girls who are finishing their clinical year. So they're almost done with the PA portion. So it's definitely doable. And it's definitely something that is exciting and something that you should look forward to.
Anyone want to ask a question?
I guess I have a question about when the best like timeline it is to reach out to like what's it called? Coaches, like if I do want to participate in a sport. Like what the
Yeah,
best
so
is. Yeah.
I know for me, I kind of approached it in kind of like a random way. I decided 2 weeks before the season that I wanted to play. So I literally emailed the coach and I was like, hey, so do you have any open spots for preseason? Like I'd love to try out. And I just got lucky that my roommate was already moving in because she was trying out for soccer. So I could move in and stuff. But I would say I'm guessing it's harder this year because sports are kind of like wild and random in high school right now with COVID and everything. But if you have like tape of you playing or anything like that, like reaching out to coaches as soon as possible to kind of just get your foot in the door is definitely a good idea.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have my I want to play tennis in college and I have my season like the upcoming month, so I think that works out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good. And even like if you want, I'm sure that the coaches for tennis would set up like a Zoom or something with you, or like the GA or something could talk to you. I'm pretty sure their GA, she is also the team impact fellow and she's super, super nice. I know her and she's really nice. So definitely reach out.
Anyone else?
I also have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think about rooming with another PA? Like I've heard good and bad things about that, so I wasn't sure like your opinion.
Personally, for me, I didn't room with any PA students in my undergrad, and I think it would have been helpful to maybe study with them. I think for the like didactic portion, it's definitely beneficial. That way you do have people to study with, but it's also important to study with people outside your friend group, and that changes throughout all of your years. So I would say if you have someone that you're comfortable living with, you can try it. And if it doesn't work out, you can always change it up sophomore year. But it's always nice to have a friend in the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I lived, like I said, with a PA all 4 years, and we're lucky that we're not competitive about grades between each other, which I think is a super important thing that like all PA students want to be successful. They all want to be high achieving. We all want to get the highest grade. That's just how we are. So making sure that your roommate is somebody that you're not super competitive with and you can like study together in a friendly and positive way is super, super important.
I have a question. So I'm just wondering, did you find that like the transition from high school to college was kind of hard and you realized you had to like switch around your studying habits and things like that, that the stuff that worked for you in high school didn't really work in college? Or did you find that it kind of was like smooth?
Like I said, undergrad, I kind of tried to do everything, and I at first underestimated the schoolwork portion and how much more effort would need to go into studying. So I found myself piling everything onto my plate and realizing, okay, I need better time management skills, and kind of had to reorganize my priorities and really put school first in a way that, not that I hadn't before, but I just definitely, it was a lot more effort and more time needed, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
And studying habits, I feel like can change. Like I know I studied one way during undergrad, and over the past month, my study habits have completely changed going into the professional phase. And it's just like before, I feel like in undergrad, you do get a lot of like busy work and little assignments that like, yes, you have to get done, but it's not like hardcore studying. Whereas like today, I woke up and studied and I'll study tonight. And I'm sure that Mackenzie studies more than I can even think about studying. But you kind of turn it into something that's fun. Like me and my roommate will quiz each other on little things and talk through stuff, and that's super helpful.
I have a question regarding like dorms and so I'm planning on commuting to college and I was wondering if I would still be able to kind of have the full college experience because I was unsure about that.
I think for that, so like I know I lived on campus all 4 years because my house is far away. I think it can be a little bit different than most people, just in the sense of like you're not then going back to your room at night to hang out with the people on your floor. But I think being in a program like this, and especially like that you have like PA specific classes, like we had PA Sen that was just our class, you can get super close with your classmates. And especially if you're on a team too, you have like that friend group. So I still think that you can definitely get it. And I think everything's a little bit different with how COVID is now, that it's not like you're going out with people on a Saturday night or hanging out in that way. We all have to be safe in that sense. So I think that because you're in the specific program and are going to be on a sports team, you'll still be able to manage that, like feeling like you're a part of the campus community.
Thank you.
Natalia, I commuted to Springfield College through PA school and had a great college experience, so it is possible.
That's really good to hear. Thank you.
I have another question. So for the like transferring the EMT like credit, is that hard?
No, you just have to, oh, sorry. You just have to show your certification, and then we will waive the credit and get you registered for something else. It's very easy.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, for my high school, it didn't count as an AP class because it's like, it's not really an AP class. So I wasn't sure how it was going to transfer.
Yep, if you have certification, just like when you come for registration in the summer, or if we do it electronically, who knows what it's going to look like. But if you just have like a copy of your certification, then we can get it waived really easily.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I had a question about the EMT course. Like, what is it like about? Like, what do you do in the course?
Anybody that took it want to talk about it? Mary Kate? Or?
I can talk about it.
Go ahead, Abby.
It was kind of a while ago, so let's see if I remember. But it's a really good introduction to like hands-on and patient care. We did a lot of like basic stuff like checking the airway, checking pulses, stuff like that. And at the end of it, we had to do like a complete exam in order to get certified, and then we had to take a test after. So they do a really good job of giving us an introduction to like doing a history and a physical, but it's more like ambulance, like EMT based. But it was really cool because I never had experience with that before.
We think it's good because it gives you, I mean, you don't have to become a certified EMT. Like if it's not your jam, you don't have to do it. But if you like it, you can get certification, and then it gives you an avenue in which to go get some of those direct patient care hours that are going to be required for the program. So you can take that certification and go get a job on an ambulance, or you can go work in an office as like a medical technologist or an ER tech. Like it sort of gives you credentials to then help you find a job undergrad to get some of that direct patient care hours.
Yeah, just going off that, I would highly recommend taking the test and like really paying attention in that class. I passed my practical and then I was like, oh, I already have a patient care job. I don't need to go get EMT certified. And I honestly like regret that a little bit, just because I think it does kind of show you such a variety of patients, and it really diversifies like who you've seen as patients. So I would really recommend, if you can take the test, to take the test. And also, I don't know if it's the same professor who teaches it, but we had Professor Rahim, and he is the best. He's so funny. I loved him. I enjoyed that class so much. So it will be a fun way to like dip your foot in the water.
Yes, he is still the professor, Mary Kate. Yes.
He's literally the best.
He loves our students too. So it's a good match. Other questions?
I have 2 more questions. Okay,
Great.
so one of them is what the best way is to prepare for the upcoming year.
Have fun. Enjoy your summer. What else? That's my first piece of advice.
I was gonna say the same thing. Enjoy your summer, because I'm looking at not having too much of a summer, just living in the library. So definitely like enjoy your time with your friends and family at home and make the most of it in a safe way. Obviously, nobody wants you getting COVID. But from an academic perspective, I would just be like eager to learn. Like, don't be nervous. Like, there's going to be times where you don't do well on something. You're going to recover from it. It's going to be fine. Just be excited because it is a big step, but it's also a super exciting step.
I actually forgot my second question. So
I have another question. So are the classes, like I know there's 35 students in the actual program. Is there 35, like those 35 going to be in like the classes that I take? Do you understand my question kind of? Or is it separated? Because I didn't really know.
You'll take the undergrad classes with all other students on campus. So there are sports biology students, there are PTs, OTs, athletic trainers. So you will be in those science classes with PA students, but also all other students on campus.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We do have a seminar course that runs, it's like sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. In the fall semesters, we have like a PA seminar course that is just the PA students together, working on different projects and stuff like that. What else?
I have a question. So for PAs that like want to switch specialties, is there a certain amount of time we have to be in a certain specialty before we switch?
No, not at all. You can start doing one job and jump into another. And a lot of our training is on the job training. So yeah, not at all. Right, Lonnie?
Yeah, and I have colleagues that, work in surgery or inpatient. I work in emergency medicine, and then do like pick up shifts in the ER or back and forth. So like in the hospital, I've seen people do multiple specialties at once. You have to be competent in each one, but you do get more on the job training.
One of our faculty here, Professor Connors, has worked in so many different, she's done primary care, and then she did emergency medicine for a little while. Then she worked in GI for X amount of years, went back to primary care, urgent care. She's got experience in so many different areas. And now she works for us, so we're lucky. Other question?
I guess I'm wondering what an average week would look like for a PA, like in terms of hours that you work.
A PA like practicing or in school?
Like practicing.
So I work in emergency medicine. When I was full-time there, I worked 3 12-hour shifts a week. But you'll find, when I used to be a clinical coordinator, and one of the things I used to talk to students about is not only are you exploring different areas of medicine and becoming competent in different areas of medicine, but as you get towards the end of your clinical year, you start thinking about what you want your life outside of PA school to look like. Maybe you're drawn to working nights, so you can work nights. Some jobs are day, a typical kind of 9 to 5 type job. An ER job is a lot of times, 3 12s, maybe it's 4 10s. So different jobs have different hours, and different different offices or systems might have different hours. So I think, to me, that's a benefit of being a PA, is not only can you decide what area of medicine what is fitting what you want, but also there's a lot of different hours that you could work in a day. And a full-time job doesn't always have to be just a day job or a night job. It can be a lot of varying things depending on where you work.
Thank you.
We'll hang if you guys have more questions, but I really hope to see you all at the Grand Rounds question and answer Zoom at 12:45. We got some great presentations with some great Q&As coming. I looked at that document just before this and I said, oh, it's gonna be tough. I was thinking, Delaney, maybe we should record it and you can share that too, because it's going to be an interesting Q&A. But please come and you can keep your camera off and just hover in the background and watch our clinical students in the hot seat and what it's like when you're in your last year about to graduate.
Yes, if you want to record it, that would be great. Or I can record it, or whoever, if I have access
Yeah.
to that.
Okay.
Will I be able to access that recording because I have a test during that? So
Yeah, so that same, sorry, I'm at home. After this is over, we'll put the recordings up later today. And so you can go right back to that webpage. We're not going to close the webpage down. So you'll be able to go back and visit it and see those recordings. I know people have a lot going on during weekdays, so we wanted to make sure you can view everything on your own time.
All right, well, thanks for attending. We will hang on the line if you want to hover and ask questions at the end, but otherwise it's really great to meet you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Remind me that we have to record the Q&A, Lonnie.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
try.
I forget.
I'm gonna put a reminder in my phone.
I'm going to say pause, stop.